It's 4 p.m. and we're bringing you the developing news and the stories behind the headlines. This is Storycon. I'm Patrick Paez. Some headlines this Tuesday, May 28th. Typhoon Aghon maintains its strength as it leaves Luzon. Aghon was last spotted some 450 kilometers east-southeast of Basco, Batanes. It is forecast to exit the Philippine area of responsibility by Wednesday afternoon or evening. It's business as usual for the Bangko Sentral ng Pilipinas amid reports of ghost employees. The issue allegedly involves two members of the board. The BSP notes that the Monetary Board can still function normally with only 4 members. President Bongbong Marcos is now in Brunei for a state visit. Tourism is a top agenda for this trip. After Brunei, Marcos Jr. will be flying to Singapore for a working visit. Meanwhile, Vice President Sara Duterte was absent during the president's send-off this morning. By tradition, the VP is caretaker while the president is away. And Cebu Governor Gwen Garcia quit the political party PDP Laban. Garcia says the complaint filed against her by Cebu City Mayor Mike Rama with the office of the president has, quote, created an irreconcilable conflict. Rama is PDP's vice president for Visayas. With me today is Ana Marie Pamintuan, editor-in-chief of the Philippine Star, Storycon's resident political pundit, Ronald Llamas, and One News defense editor, Manny Mogato. So we're a full house today, Ronald, Ami, and Manny. First off, Ami, what's the possible banner story of the Philippine Star for tomorrow?
We're waiting for more developments sa Brunei, but so far, ang sabi, the Philippines, well, President Marcos wants to strengthen defense ties with Brunei. And also, binabantayan pa rin natin si Aghon, 3 pa raw additional na namatay. And tuloy-tuloy, in the Senate, sabi ni Senate President Chis Escudero, he's not going to stop the continuation of the probe on Mayor Alice Go. At iniimbestigahan na rin ng PNP. They're following up reports na baka lang naman member daw ng China, Communist Party of China, si Mayor ng Bamban. Ayan. At politics pa rin, sabi ni JVR Sito, Senator JVR Sito, okay naman daw sila makipag-usap, the solid 7 so-called, with Senator Chis and the majority, pero when emotions daw have died down. Yan ang mga binabantayan natin.
Okay, so far what we're hearing is that medyo ongoing yung, I don't want to use your term division of spoils, pero yung assignment ng mga committee chairmanships at saka committee memberships sa Senate mukhang I think Senator Raffy Tulfo is taking over, for example, the Committee on Transportation that is being vacated by Senator Grace Poe, who will be taking over the Committee on Accounts. I understand, ganon.
Accounts or Finance?
Accounts or finance,
Yeah,
maybe, finance.
Mukhang accounts si Alan Peter.
Yun, finance, yes. Arguably, the second most powerful position in the Senate, right?
If you know how to use it.
If you know how to use it. Ganon. So, Ami, are we monitoring any other movements in the Senate? Kasi we're hearing that this solid 7 will most likely stay within the majority. All that needs to happen is mabigyan sila ng mga committee na that will be to their satisfaction. I guess. Gano.
Yes, dahil ang ibig sabihin kasi...
Medyo magulo nga yan Kasi kahit pati yung minority, hindi natin alam kung bibigyan nga yung minority din. Well, they're not going to be chair, pero may representation naman sila in all the committees. Siyempre, importante din na ikaw yung chair, pero it depends nga kung ano yung magiging division dahil ang gulo-gulo nga, di ba, the line ngayon between the majority and minority is blurred.
Right.
So, hindi rin natin alam kasi ang sinasabi naman ng mga solid 7, solid pa rin daw sila.
Solid sila, right.
Pero
at
usually...
sabi naman ni Senator Chis, lahat naman daw ng mga probe, tuloy-tuloy pa rin. Kaya hanggang ngayon, actually, hindi pa malinaw kung bakit tinanggal nyo yung Senate President nyo. Hanggang ngayon, hindi daw yung hindi daw yung sore foot ni Senator Revilla, hindi yung Chacha, hindi yung Pedealic. So ano kaya ang dahilan hanggang ngayon?
Division of spoils nga.
Yung palaging matagal nang binabanggit ni Ronald na
Division of spoils.
yun. Ano ba? Option C, letter C. Parang gano'n, letter
Pero
C.
usually kasi ang minority, hindi lang sa usapin ng botohan sa Senate President o sa speakership. Usually, position din yan, political positioning vis-a-vis the government. Usually, opposition talaga yan. At mukhang yung 7, hindi naman opposition eh. So, bakit sila sasama sa minority, di ba? So, kaya natural na manatili sila sa majority, kahit masama ang kanilang loob.
It makes sense, right?
Pero baka nire-redefine na rin nila minority sa Senate kasi sa House. Nakikita naman natin kung sino minority doon. They actually belong to the majority. Baka yan ang nag-i-evolve ngayon din sa Senate.
Yes.
Well, you mentioned a while ago.
Opposition.
You mentioned a while ago, Ami, as members of the minority, they're they are members of every committee in the Senate.
Yes.
But
they're not
They
chairman.
have to be represented.
They cannot become
Kaya
chairman.
sila Senator Risa and Senator Coco, nagpapadala sila ng staff nila sa mga committee kasi obviously, hindi naman nila kaya umattend lahat doon.
Pero iba yung member ka lang, iba yung chairman ka, Ami. Kasi I understand that when you become a chairman of a committee, apart from the additional budget that you get as chairman of that committee, you have additional staff, you have additional budgets for operating, etc. Budget yan di ba?
Yes.
And also the clout that comes with becoming chairman of the committee, for example.
Once in a while, kahit nasa minority ka, pwede kang maging chair na isang committee na hindi naman pinag-aagawan ng majority.
Like ethics.
Parang
like ethics committee.
Women's committee.
Women's
mga
committee,
ganun, yung mga hindi naman na interesado yung majority. Pwede
where there's no, let's put it simply, walang masyadong big lobby.
Yeah.
Walang masyadong major interest involved in those committees. Like,
ibig mo sabihin, yung big lobby ay...
well, it happens.
Malaki yung tulong.
well, in the US, di ba legit yung lobbying groups.
Yeah.
So, alam naman natin na gano'n. Let's just call it what it is, right?
Call a spade.
Right. So, when it comes to ethics committee, there's no lobby group there involved or women's committee, wala namang gano'n. Pero major committees like, for example, Public Works, I think paborito dati yan ng yumaong Senator Ramon Revilla Sr. Environment also, mga ganun. Tapos pagdating naman dati, mga sikat na committee dyan, Senate Blue Ribbon Committee because for grandstanding.
Yes.
When your committee does an investigation, you're all over the news, right?
Pero karamihan ng mga nag-Blue Ribbon, natalo eh.
Natalo. Kaya ating ngayon, pinagpapasapasahan. Walang may gusto ng Blue Ribbon Committee.
Ikaw mo, ikaw ay senador, anong committee ang kukunin mo?
Blue Ribbon.
Ayun.
Pero tama yung pinoint out ni Ronald, medyo natalo yung mga recent chairman ng Blue
Si Gordon yung Blue Ribbon.
Si Gordon, si TG King Gona.
Kaya na itong bagong Senate na pumasok, parang pinagpasapasahan yung
Kaya si Francis Tolentino, iniwan na yung Blue Ribbon.
Right.
Nadami kaaway mo dyan eh. Pero and there's a lot of expectation kung Blue Ribbon ka eh.
Right.
Kaya, tingnan natin, baka yan pwede makuha ng minority.
Si Coco.
Delikado rin ibigay sa minority dahil gagamitin nila para mag-investiga ng corruption.
Delikado
kahit naman walang Blue Ribbon, nag-iimbestiga pa rin naman eh. Di ibigay na lang dun sa mahilig talaga.
Still on politics, Ronald, Ami, Manny, Governor Gwen Garcia resigns from PDP Laban. Why are we not surprised by this news? Okay, Ronald.
Parang matagal na natin hinihintay.
Why are we not surprised, Ronald?
Well, malinaw naman yung PDP ay papunta na sa oposisyon or bagong
balik sa isang jeep ulit, sa isang taxi.
Balik ulit sa isang taxi, no? At siyempre, yung governor, yung kanyang anak ay member ng cabinet at dahil Cebu ay isa pinaka-importanting city. Kung gusto niyang
the most vote-rich province.
Yes, kung gusto niyang dumami yung resources galing sa national government, dapat hindi siya opposition.
Ibig sabihin ba, Ronald,
actually,
iiwan na ni
nag-hemorrhage
Sara?
ngayon yung PDP ni former President Duterte. Negros Occidental, nag-mass resignation from PDP.
At malamang,
Saka, hindi ba, nagsasalita na yung mga miyembro na they do not agree with former President Duterte. Kaya mukhang yan ang magiging bagong Volkswagen na Volkswagen Party eventually.
Balik sa isang Volkswagen.
At mukhang sa lahat ng speeches ni President Bongbong ngayon, ang banat niya, destabilization. Ibig sabihin,
Kaya
it's not lost on the local politicians. Sino yung pinapatamaan?
Moving into the midterms.
Moving into the midterms. Kaya nakita na rin nila yung matagal ng writing on the wall. Kaya pero may hatian din, no? Dahil karamihan ng mga governors ay lumilipat sa Partido Federal at karamihan ng mga congressmen lumilipat sa Lakas NUCD. So parang may ganung division of labor.
Kasi si Speaker ang
sa Lakas.
Lakas. Kaya dun sila.
Tapos sa Partido Federal, yung presidente at saka yung anak. No?
So the president is perfectly okay with that. Because normally, you just join the president's party, everybody.
Yeah.
Pero he's willing to give that to the speaker.
Magkukumalis naman yung dalawa into a ruling coalition. Kasama ang iba pa, Nationalista, NUP,
LP. NP.
Kala ko LP sa'yo mo. NP.
NUP.
So Partido Federal is the new party na dating kasya sa taxi o sa Volkswagen. Pero ngayon, I think the last we heard, they're claiming at least half of all local government officials.
Ganon din naman nangyari sa PMP ni ERAP. Ganon din na nangyari sa Liberal Party. Ganon din na nangyari sa PDP na isa o dalawa lamang yung congressman nung nanalo si Digong. No? Ang kaibahan lang kay GMA, dahil si GMA, miyembro ng 5 political parties.
Sabay-sabay.
Sabay-sabay.
She's still a member, I think, of Lakas.
Yeah.
I think she hasn't left, right?
Pero hindi na siya member ng LP.
Hindi na siya member ng LP.
Nandun siya nung nagpatislan ni Speaker, di ba?
Hindi yun bate.
Di ba?
Nandun lang siya.
Nandun lang. Nagmano.
Ganun ba yun?
Nakikita ngayon ng mga LGU kung ano nangyayari doon sa mga, hindi ba nagrereklamo na naman si Duterte, former President Duterte, yung Tacloban naman daw. Hindi na naman daw natuloy yung rally nila o hindi, o hinarang yata, hinarang. And people are seeing what's happening in Davao City. Nawala yung budget, sabi ng mga Duterte, 500 million, nawala sa budget nila. Nakita natin kung ano nangyari doon sa mga pulis nung sumunod sa utos ng mayor. Ayan, pati chief of police na 2 months pa lang sa pwesto, tanggal.
Hindi lang yun, mga station commander, tanggal din. Siyam.
Yes.
Ronald, during your time as political affairs advisor, you could say, based on that, these are the usual things or leverages that the president uses.
Yes and no, pero dapat may dahilan din Kailangan may compelling reason din. Madali naman makahanap Halimbawa, nagsimula yung Tokhang Davao style uli. Diba? Pinagmamalaki ni Mayor Baste. Talagang bilang na yung oras ng mga pulis na sumuporta ron. Dahil definitely, humihiwalay si BBM doon sa Tokhang Tapos ito yung isang key city mo, pinagmamalaki na magkakaroon sila ng Tokhang again, no? Sa city nila.
At may namatay agad.
Tapos may namatay agad. Hindi lang 7 mas marami yung namatay. No, hindi lang 7. Halos 100 yata.
Ito, tatanong ko nga kay Manny. Manny kasi nagpo-protesta si Mayor Baste. Sabi niya, abuse daw of authority ng PNP at kailangan ibalik yung 36. Ano bang rule doon? Anong jurisdiction ng mayor over the police sa ganyan, mga appointment, mga yung ganyan pagtatanggal, pag-resign.
Wala. Kasi yung mayor, may supervision lang. Di ba, pag mag-appoint ka ng police chief, bibigyan ka ng 3 choices. May 3 pangalan, pipili ka lang. Pero,
pag nandun na,
wala ka lumagawa. Kasi hawak ng ng krami.
Pero Ami, mukhang...
Saka for caution di ba?
Pag sinabi ni Mayor Baste Duterte na abuse of authority, kailangan paniwalaan natin. Dahil may expertise mga Duterte sa abuse of authority.
Ikaw nagsabi niya na. Hindi, baka pumunta tayo sa korte kaya tinatanong ko si Manny kung ano yung rule Pero alam ko under the PNP law, national na yan di ba?
Di ba papuri yun?
Yun.
May doctorate sa abuse of authority.
National na yung PNP kaya hindi ba Manny? Anytime pwede mong tanggalin actually.
Pwede kasi...
Lalo yan for cause
Hawak ng ng kamkrami Silang bahalang mag-assign dyan. Kasi yung PNP is civilian in nature pero national in character.
Yes.
So, Lahat yan, hawak nila.
DILG, PNP ang message dyan. NAPOLCOM.
NAPOLCOM, yan.
So yung supervision, when you say supervision, may supervision yung mayor, for example, or governor. Well, ano yung scope ng supervision, Manny?
Wala. Administrative.
Ganun.
Mas administrative.
Hindi, pwede niya ngayon, punta ka doon, meron nangyayari doon. Yun, ganung klase.
Yun lang.
At
Tsaka
medyo mataas ang crime rate doon, dagdagan nyo nga yung mga tao nyo, ayan, pwede yun.
Pero
Saka pagka pipili ka ng police chief, bibigyan ka 3 pangalan. Hindi ka makakahindi kung ayaw mo sa
Pero
3.
Manny, kapag ganyan nga, sinabi ng mayor, tayo magka-crackdown ulit tayo sa pulis. Sumunod yung pulis mo. Anong sinasabi nila? Sumunod lang naman yung pulis. Paano yun?
Dapat consistent sa national yun eh. Hindi lang sa local. Dapat within the laws ng NAPOLCOM, ng PNP, ng DILG. So hindi sila pwedeng lumabas doon.
Madali yun ang panahon ni Duterte kasi diretso eh.
Tama. Susunod sa sinasabi ng presidente.
Yun ang commander-in-chief nila eh.
Kaya yung presidente may kaso sa ICC.
So yung 3 pangalan, Manny, pipili yung mayor doon. Is that already the final choice? Yung choice ng mayor na limited to the 3?
Yes.
Or pwede pang sabihin ng PNP, ayaw nila yung napili doon sa 3?
Ay hindi, pagka pumili na,
yun na yun.
Yun na yun. Kasi sila nagbigay eh. Ibig sabihin,
Pero actually, kung malakas yung mayor sa presidente, pwede siya mag-rekomenda, di ba?
Right.
Kaya kung kakampihan, pwedeng siya nga mamili.
That's all backdoor already that we don't see. And we presume na
bulong
happens.
Isama na sa 3. Magne-negotiate yung mayor, sabihin sa president, pwede bang isama itong sa 3? 3 pa rin yung pagpipilian. Pero kasama na pasok na yung kanyang gusto.
Sa probinsya, ganun din. Yung provincial commander, yung governor, bibigyan din 3 pangalan.
Okay, another development, still on our politics and leading up to the midterms. Makati Mayor Abby Binay joins the Nationalist People's Coalition. So nag-NPC. Ito pamilyang Binay, original to sa PDP laban.
Yeah.
Although matagal na rin kumalas yung tatay. Right? Pero I think they were founding officer ng PDP laban.
Kampi niya na si Tito Soto.
Ayan, I understand that Mayor Abby Binay was in Senator Tito Soto's list of possible senatorial candidates of the Nationalist People's Coalition.
Si Chis Escudero ba?
Formally
Si Chis Escudero ba, NPC pa rin?
NPC.
I think so.
Di makakasama na ni Binay. Na dati magkalaban sila.
Pero si Binay, di ba, graduate na sa Senado?
Si ate.
Tatakbo siya. That's interesting. Ang magiging interesting ang politics ng Makati and Taguig. Kasi nagbabalak nga daw si Abby Binay na tumakbo sa Taguig as mayor dahil nakuha nga yung mga embo-embo nila, di ba? Biliwik yung mga Binay yung mga embo na yun Mukhang tatakbo si Abby doon, tapos magkakalaban yung asawa niya, si Congressman Campos, and Nancy Binay for Mayor of Makati.
Really?
Kaya interesting ang magiging laban sa Makati. Yan ang magandang bantayan ngayon.
Medyo mauungkat yung mga hurt sa pamilya niya, di ba? Pag nangyari yan. Because if we all remember
pero medyo alam na din naman ng public yun.
Yeah, a few election cycles ago.
Yun yung away ng Taguig and Makati, nasasama na.
Ang medyo kawawa dyan yung tatay.
Yung
Nakita mo paano mag-away yung anak sa harapan niya, di ba?
A few, reminder lang, a few election cycles ago, I think, very public on stage mismo, nag-away.
Sa harapan.
Sa harapan ng publiko, sa harapan ng tatay. Si Junjun Binay na mayor.
Si Abby.
Si Abby Binay,
At mukhang hanggang ngayon, malalim pa rin yung away na yun.
Okay.
Pero mukhang malakas si Nancy kaysa kay Mister.
Well, kung si Abby kasi si Abby malakas. Hindi kasi yung mister niya hindi ganoon kalakas.
Hindi ganoon,
Incumbent congressman.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So, ganon.
At saka iba apelido
Hindi Binay.
Hindi Binay.
Alalaban siya sa apelidong Binay Kaya titignan natin yan kasi I think medyo firm up na yung mga balak na yan Kaya tignan natin.
Taguig is also interesting.
Taguig will be in.
Yes.
Do you see Abby Binay trying to contest the City Hall?
sa Taguig.
In Taguig?
Baka-
Kasi what Tito Soto is saying, what Tito Soto is saying that Abby Binay is in their list of senatorial candidates to replace Ate Nancy Binay.
Parang si Abby, pinag-aaralan pa yung mga legal questions Dahil may mga issues pa yata sa residency. Kaya pinag-aaralan pa nila maigi.
Di ba may bahay si Abby sa BGC?
Pero may broad coalition sila ngayon.
May bahay siya.
With the Tinga, no? Yung mga dati ng kalaban ng mga Cayetano, etc. Hindi ko na babanggitin yung etc.
Are the Tingas trying to make a comeback?
Ha?
For, the Tingas, may balak ba silang magkaroon ng
sila on their
political
own
comeback?
hindi kakayanin. Pero ito nga, nagbubuo sila ng Coalition of the Willing, kasama si Abby, etc. So baka kung sila ay Coalition of the Willing, baka mas may chance kahit uphill pa rin. Hindi pa rin ganun kadali na talunin ng mga Cayetano.
Baka pwedeng busy. Busy.
Si Abby?
Hindi, si Tinga.
Oh. Yun, kasi ang alam ko yung misis ng dating mayor. Na-appoint ng Malacanang sa CCP ngayon.
Yes. At
Well, not Malacanang ata ang appointing.
At ang Tinga, suportado ng presidente.
There you go. Oo. Because I think the relationship also goes a long way back, with the Marcoses, with their fathers.
Yeah.
And for the longest time, alam naman, Abby, ang mga Tinga, sila talaga yung political family dyan sa Taguig.
Yes.
Bago nagkaroon ng BGC. Nung panahon na ang Taguig ay puro water lily lang.
Kaya masama loob nila.
At saka Tipasopia. Yan,
Kaya masama loob nila.
Kung kailan naging boom town yung Taguig, iba ngayon yung nakapamilya nakapwesto dyan, mga Cayetano. Yun.
Ngayon, meron ng BGC, meron pang FTI.
Arca. Arca, that's a lot of revenue for the city.
At siya yung nagiging financial capital na ngayon.
Right, it's moving there. It's moving to
Pati
BGC.
mga embassy, nandun na.
Embassy, naglilipatan doon.
Yes.
Lahat ng international
nilipat
schools,
ng Senate,
nandun ngayon.
Ang Senate, nandun na.
Yung bagong building ng Senate.
Ganda. Kaya maraming gusto maging senador ngayon. Ingit na
Malapit
ingit
sa
ang
mga bahay
Kongreso.
nila.
So it could
malapit.
rival Manila, Makati as the premier, richest city in the Philippines.
It's looking much better than Makati nowadays.
Looking much better, yeah.
Para ka nasa New York, pagka nasa
New York
BGC
na New York. No? So New York. It's so New York.
So it's a price, It's a price city.
Yes.
Kung sino man dyan. So expect na magpupukpukan talaga dyan. But yung pagiging miyembro ng mga Cayetano siblings sa Senado, doon sa coalition or so whatever we want to call it, that helped oust Senate President Miguel Zubiri, you think that's gonna score some point with Malacanang for the Cayetanos?
Well, ang ininegotiate kasi dyan ay not specifically the Cayetanos. Ang ininegotiate dyan ay yung partido, nasyonalista. At malamang may 3 hanggang 4 na itutulak yung nasyonalista sa Senate slate ng administrasyon. Villar, whoever that is, Camille or Manny, tapos ay Aimee, Marcos, kahit parang opposition si Aimee, Marcos pa rin ang apelyido, tapos si Pia Cayetano. Meron silang isang miyembro na tumatakbo rin for senator, si Ariel Carubin. So baka isama yun sa 4. No? Ang NUP naman kasi halos wala Lakas, si Bong Revilla, perhaps one more. Ang NPC, si Tito Soto. At saka, si Win pala ay hindi naman re-electionist.
So, the Cayetanos' membership in the Nationalista Party is going to be very important para in their bid to retain yung control nila sa
siyempre, iba yung local. Parang,
iba yun.
Ruling coalition, sama ang NP, pero sa local, ibang usapin yan. No.
Anong pwedeng maging usapin dyan? Open city ang Taguig. Parang may term sila dyan, di ba?
Zona libre.
Zona libre.
Zona libre.
Oo. Walang babakapan ng
people. Kakampi dyan. Yung mga kakampi ni VP Sara. Anong partido yun?
Opposition na yun. Dahil hindi nga sinama yung hugpong sa ruling coalition, di ba?
Oo nga. Sa Senate. Sino yung mga, siyempre kailangan niya na suporta dyan.
Oo. Ang soft statement nila ng Partido Federal ay buo pa yung unity team with Hugpong, pero hindi na buo yung kontrata. Hindi ko maintindihan kung ibig sabihin nun. No? So, kailangan daw gumawa ng bagong kontrata. Pag hindi makabuo ng bagong kontrata, edi wala na yung unity team.
Wala nga si Sara kanina.
Saan lulugar si Senator Bongo? Senator Bongo,
Sa
Senator
PDP
Bato.
yun. Sigurado sa
Saka yung
PDP.
kasama nilang isa,
Si
yung
Bato.
sinasama nila si Tolentino, pero
PDP
I'm not
yun.
sure kung kasama talaga nila.
Tingin ko si Tolentino tatawid na yan.
Kakalas na yan.
Katulad ni Congressman Alvarez, yung presidente ng PDP. Kaya si Robin Hood na yung presidente.
Yes.
For Tolentino, that's not gonna be the first time he will cross.
Yeah, mukhang
Kasi galing siya kay Pinoy, di ba?
mukhang nakapag
LP.
Oo, galing siya kay Pinoy, nag-cross siya kay Duterte.
mukhang
and he's-
nakapag-criss-cross na siya.
Yun,
Yeah.
oo. But what does this say about Senator Tolentino that he has friends on all sides? Ganun ba yun?
Yun yung positive note.
Okay.
Hindi ko nababanggitin.
Maganda yung description na yan. I have friends on all sides.
Di ba? Kasi pwede rin naman ganun, di ba? It wasn't, I mean, after all, he counts as a close friend of former President Noynoy Aquino, right? Nandun siya, no? I mean, alam ko, original, original korista yan eh. Dahil nung nag-mayor
Yung
siya ng
tatay,
Tagaytay.
nakulong yan. Political detainee yung
original
tatay niya,
yan.
no?
So, it was expected nung maupo si Pinoy, kasama si
Pero nung
Francis.
nung nanalo-
Nagulat lang ako nung nakatawid siya kay Duterte, sa side ni Duterte.
Yes. At
What
nanalo-
made that possible?
At nung nanalo si Digong, buong pamilya yata niya nakidigong eh. Pati yung kanyang kapatid.
Was there some relationship there from the past that allowed him to move to the side of
I doubt
Duterte
it.
right
I
after
doubt it.
Pinoy?
Dahil marami naman sa sumama kay Digong, wala namang prior relationship eh. 'Di ba? Dahil si Digong is so local eh. Hindi naman siya national. Eh. So yung mga national pumunta sa kanya nung nakita na malaki yung chance niya na manalo. Hindi dahil sa previous relationships. Halos lahat ng kilala ko na nagdigong ay wala naman talagang prior relationship kay Digong. 'Di ba, Ami? No, karamihan naman dyan eh.
Pero
mga nasa
may dalawa
cabinet.
siyang loyalista doon, si Bongo nga and Ronald de la Rosa.
Yun
Saan
lang,
sila
yun lang.
lugar ngayon? Kasi majority sila ngayon eh.
Sunny Dominguez.
Pero
Yun yung mga
majority.
kanya.
Oo, the Davao Group.
The Davao Group. Pero yung
Saan
national...
sila lulugar ngayon? Kasi right now, majority sila.
Kung hindi sila
they
kunin ng-
supported si Escudero eh.
Kung hindi sila kunin ng ICC, sila yung bagong PDP lamang. Sila yung bagong oposisyon. No? Kung hindi sila kukunin ng ICC, hindi ko sinasabing kukunin sila.
Malayo-layo pa yun. Several batches
Do you
down pa
actually
yun.
see that
Sabi
happening,
sa akin,
Ronald,
first
given that-
batch, si Digong lang mismo.
Do you actually see that happening, Ronald, na yung mga, given that itong mga, let's call them Duterte senators, may ibang silang term dyan, di ba? Mga Duterte senators, they actually voted to unseat Senate President Miguel Zubiri.
Yeah.
So they're part of a coalition which is we can all assume friendly with Malacanang. So ano nangyari doon sa Duterte ties? I mean, should we count them as opposition or pati yun wala na rin?
Well, una, katulad ng pinag-uusapan natin in the past episodes, no? Yung hatian sa Senado hindi ganun kaklaro. Whether friendly sa Malacanang o hindi. Dahil yung issue ng Chacha, yung issue ng investigation dito sa PDLX na basically implicating the president, yun yung layunin no? Ay parang hindi yun naging dahilan dito sa Senate purge o itong Senate coup. Kaya yung aspeto na yon parang hindi ganun kalinaw. Ang malinaw sa akin ay sila ay pinakamalapit kay Digong. At si Digong, malinaw yung guhit. No? At kung si Digong ay gumuhit as opposition, hindi sila aalis doon. No? Sa midterm, sa midterm. No? Kaya duda ako kung halimbawa si Bato at saka si Bongo ay masasama sa administrasyon. Si Francis pwede. Pero iiwanan niya ang PDP. No?
Okay, ganun, ano? But kapansin-pansin, it's quite noticeable lang amin, no, na lately parang hindi mo na nakikita si Senator Bongo nakadikit si former President Rodrigo Duterte. Wala na yung mga selfies. Di ba? Dumalag na yung mga selfies, right? Kasi dati, di ba, ang ano nga, senador na siya, pero parang mas madalas yung oras niya sa Malacanang.
Pero kung ikaw din sa lugar ni Bongo, tapos binanggit ka ni Las Cañas na main witness ng ICC, no? Medyo kakabahan ka. So, mag-rely ka dun sa goodwill ng presidente nang pag sinasabi niya na hindi kami makikipag-coordinate sa ICC. Ang problema, pinaltan yung polis sa Davao.
At nagpadala ng 2 batalyon.
Kasi interesting yung Duterte block. Kasi iniisip ko nga, sinong susuporta kay VP Sara? Kasi as of now, sila ni Raffy Tulfo yung frontrunners for 2028. Paano kung palit yung partidong sumusuporta sa kanya? Of course, she will need the party machinery kung tatakbong presidente. So, sino yung mga susuporta sa kanya? Yung House, I'm sure. Under Romualdez, wala na sa kanya eh. Sino pa yung matitira sa kanya?
Mukhang Ami, ang inaasahan naman kasi nila to survive the midterms eh. Ang tingin kasi nila to survive the midterms ay isa pa rin sila sa frontliner going into 2028. At kung mangyayari yon,
paano yung mga kakampi nila, pinagsususpindi na nga eh.
Yes, pero yung mga umalis sa kanila, yung mga lumipat, ang tingin nila dahil cynical Philippine politics, magbabalikan yon. Kung kasama sila sa top 2 for president sa 2028. Yun ang kanilang calculation. Whether that will happen is another thing.
At saka yung pong wala na rin eh. Parang shell na lang eh.
Yeah. I think there was an announcement made a few months ago, maybe late last year, na interim lang naman talaga, parang intermediate lang yung hukbong for the purpose of 2019 elections. But if there's something siguro that we all learn or must realize from all of this, na it's futile to analyze Philippine politics according to party lines, according to political parties. I expect them to function as such.
Wala naman tayong party politics.
Wala talaga. Iba. I don't know what animal you will call yung political culture natin, pero obviously it's not about political party lines. Yun lang. Anyway,
no
they're
party
watching
system
Storycon.
tayo.
Ano yun? Ano yan, Ami?
No party system.
No party system. You're watching Storycon on One News. We just need to take a quick break and we will be right back. We're back and we've got the developing news and the stories behind the headlines. This is the Story Conference. I'm Patrick Paez, and also with me are Ami Pamintuan, Ronald Llamas, and Manny Mogato. Yes. We were supposed to have a guest. We're still waiting for him. Ami, this is regarding what appears to be the largest Chinese Coast Guard ship
in the world.
In the world ba?
Yeah.
165 footer.
The world, no? It's called the Monster.
Yeah, yun na lang. By its reputation, it's called the Monster. Yun ang nickname niya. So we can imagine gaano kalaki ito. No?
At pinadala saan? Baho di Masinloc.
Baho di Masinloc.
Na ang katapat nila.
On the eastern side, Manny. So, Manny, tell us the significance of this move, Manny.
Well, the largest Chinese Coast Guard, which is actually a former Navy vessel.
Oh, Navy talaga.
Navy talaga yan. Was sent not only to Baho de Masinloc, but further east, near Zambales Coast.
Between Baho and Zambales.
Between Zambales and...
Okay, now finally we have Philippine Coast Guard spokesman, Commodore J. Tariela, joining us now. Commodore.
Hi, Commodore.
Good afternoon, Commodore. Saktong-sakto pasok mo.
Good afternoon.
Commodore, nandun pa ba yung The Monster, kung tawagin?
Well, based on our monitoring as of last night, sir, dalawang China Coast Guard vessel na lang ang na-monitor natin sa Baho de Masinloc. That is China Coast Guard 3502 and China Coast Guard 5305 and the 19 Chinese Maritime Militia. Ibig sabihin, wala na dito, sir, yung sinasabi nating Monster China Coast Guard, yung China Coast Guard 5901.
So,
Pero in
Commodore,
the meantime, Commodore, meron daw 122 Chinese vessels na na-monitor ang Philippine Navy naman sa West Philippine Sea. Do you also have that report?
Well, we rely on the Armed Forces of the Philippines whenever they have the report to declare the totality of the deployment of the Chinese Maritime Militia, China Coast Guard, and PLA Navy. So if they say it's 122, dahil mas marami silang asset, ma'am, no? They have the aircraft for the Philippine Air Force, and of course the Navy vessels as well. So we also rely on the reports of the Armed Forces of the Philippines.
Commodore, yung bang...
Kapag ganyang karaming Chinese vessel, paano gagawin natin? Kasi mag-i-impose ng fishing moratorium on China for 4 months. At sinabi ng Philippine Navy, we will not follow the fishing moratorium. Anong preparations ng Coast Guard for this, yung fishing moratorium na yan?
Well, yung 122 na Chinese maritime forces na yan, ma'am, is scattered in different parts of the KIG, basically, no?
Yes.
Ang fishing moratorium is only at 12 degrees latitude up north. Ibig sabihin pataas. Kung titingnan natin kung ano lang yung mga tatamaan dito na fishing areas natin, that will only be Bajo de Masinloc. So right now, ang barko lang ng Chinese Maritime Forces sa BDM is 2 Chinese Coast Guard and 19 Chinese Maritime Militia.
Hindi naman pwedeng manghuli yung militia vessels.
Yes, sir. So it's only the Chinese Coast Guard that we can expect who can carry out law enforcement.
At i-emphasize natin, Commodore, na yung Chinese Coast Guard is under the People's Liberation Army, under the Chinese Armed Forces, unlike our Coast Guard na civilian.
DOTC, DOTR.
Chinese Military Commission.
Yes.
Commodore,
Chinese Military Commission.
how are we supposed to take this presence of this monster Coast Guard ship in off Zambales? No?
501.
Is this a deliberate attempt by the Chinese to intimidate us after, well, yung atin ito convoy or whatever? Is this in line with that move, Commodore?
Well, there are already numerous instances that they have deployed their monster China Coast Guard vessels here in the Philippines. I think the first one was in 2022 when we were supposed to have an exercise with the U.S. Coast Guard. So, kung titingnan natin yung trend, sir, no? Whenever they deploy itong monster vessel nila, laging related dito sa pananakot. So, fairly we can say na part din ng pananakot na naman nila ito to discourage another atin ito convoy or any other civil society that may plan to sail in different parts of the West Philippine Sea.
Sayang, Commodore, no? Ang ganda sana niyan kung nasabayan ng atin ito flotilla, no? Dahil kitang-kita yung liit ng mga bangka at yung laki ng Chinese Coast Guard, no? Kitang-kita yung David versus Goliath. Sayang.
Ang tanong doon, Ronald, kung didikit ba yung mga bangka?
Ha? Didikit ba? Dumikit naman eh.
Baka madurog, nabangga.
Sa alon. Commodore, on a different note, nabasa ko yung isang pinost nyo eh. Parang sagot kay new Senate President Chis Escudero tungkol dun sa sinabi ni Senator Escudero na bakit tayo nakafocus sa China? May iba namang mga claimants na kaaway tayo, katulad ng Malaysia, Vietnam, Brunei. Parang meron kayong sagot na nakita ko kanina o kahapon. No?
Iba yung post ko, Sir Ronald.
Yeah.
Ang last post ko on my Twitter post was, ang sabi ko, kung titingnan natin yung mga pro-China trolls na sumusuporta kay Pastor Kibuloy, saka kay Mayor Alice Go, parang kung titingnan natin, hindi ko alam kung meron talagang kumukumpas sa kanila. Pero ano ba to, coincidental na kapag pro-China ka, dapat supportahan mo si Kibuloy, dapat supportahan mo si Alice Go. So yun yung question ko dun sa post ko, Sir Ronald.
May nabasa akong post niyo, Commodore, na parang sinasabi, hindi naman tayo wina-water cannon ng Malaysia, ng Vietnam, at saka ng Brunei. Di ba may ganun kayong post?
Parang post ko to, sir, last few months pa.
Okay.
Dahil yung response ko dun sa mga pro-China trolls naman before, na challenge bakit daw we are focusing only on China and we're not mentioning the presence of the Vietnamese Coast Guard and Vietnamese fishing vessel. So, mariin kong idiniin noon na ang Vietnam, Malaysia, or even Brunei, or even Taiwan, no? Wala naman tayong napabalitang hinarang ang Philippine Coast Guard vessel, or even the Filipino fishermen, no? Kaya natin tinututukan lang ang China dahil sa araw-araw na ginawa ng Diyos, parang ito yung usual routine na na-experience ng Coast Guard, ng Armed Forces of the Philippines, at ng ating mga kababayang mga isda.
Okay, Commodore, still on that matter, have there been situations where, for example, Filipino fishermen come in close contact with Vietnamese fishermen, or our Coast Guard has come in contact with Vietnamese vessels or Malaysian vessels? And in those instances, Commodore, what happens? Ano po, may protocols ba dyan involved? May kiskisan din ba o wala lang?
Parang alam ko may nahuli na yung Coast Guard.
Mo, sir, no? Let me take this opportunity to respond to that question. There are instances that the Philippine Coast Guard vessels pass through Vietnamese and even Malaysian fishermen. Kapag tinawagan na natin sila sa radyo or ginamitan natin sila ng PA system, reminding them that they are within the exclusive economic zone of our country, nagpo-pull out naman sila ng maayos, umaalis. Ibig sabihin, nire-respeto nila ang presensya ng Philippine Coast Guard. This is a different scenario kung ang Chinese fishermen ang gagawin natin ng ganyan, or Chinese Maritime Militia. The moment they challenge natin ang Chinese Maritime Militia, what you can expect next to happen is Chinese Coast Guard vessels will also be coming in, no? At susuportahan nila yung ginagawa ng mga Chinese fishermen, which is usual na nangyayari dito sa Bajo de Masinloc. So, from the behavior itself, no, makikita natin how bully the Chinese are and how they look at their Chinese fishermen na parang sila mismo ang may legitimate sovereign rights over our own exclusive economic zone, which is completely opposite sa behavior ng mga Malaysian, Indonesian, and even Taiwanese and Vietnamese fishermen.
Commodore, meron ba kayong records kung ilan na yung nahuli ng Coast Guard ng mga Vietnamese fishermen? Di ba parang meron kayong report dati?
Marami.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir, Box. We have a data to support na meron din tayong hinuli ng mga Vietnamese fishermen, especially those that enter Pag-asa Workers, for example, or even other areas na talagang machichempohan nating nanguhuli sila ng isda sa loob ng ating exclusive economic zone.
Does this still on that matter?
Hindi ba you detained the ship na merong 7 Chinese crew yung pumasok sa San Felipe? Ano na yung status ngayon ng barko na yun?
Well, right now, ma'am, no, it's still under detention. I'm going to ask the headquarters kung ano nang update ng Bureau of Immigration dun sa 7 Chinese national. But when we say we detained the vessel, ang mga Chinese crew nito ay nasa loob pa din ng barko nila, ma'am.
Okay, Commodore, still on the matter of Vietnamese fishermen in our EEZ. So there's a standing SOP by the Philippine Coast Guard to tell them off or to drive them away whenever they're on our EEZ. Ganun po ba yun?
Yes, sir. Whenever we pass through the Vietnamese fishermen, we always communicate with them through radio or we use our PA system.
So, Commodore, malinaw yung sinabi nyo, no? Yung pinost na, yung nakitang post nyo na sinasabi na hindi naman tayo wina-water cannon, hinaharas ng Malaysia, Vietnam, tsaka Brunei, ay post nyo several months ago in response sa mga talking heads ng China sa Pilipinas. At hindi siya direct response dun sa medyo katulad na statement ni Senator Escudero, no? Pero di ba isa ring dahilan kung bakit wala tayo masyadong conflict with Vietnam, Malaysia, Brunei, Taiwan ay dahil hindi nila kino-contest yung ating victory sa UNCLOS over our maritime rights sa EEZ. Di ba? Ang ating conflict sa kanila ay yung ating sovereign rights. At mukhang yan ay napag-uusapan naman multilaterally at saka bilaterally. So just to clarify, yung dagdag, hindi lamang tayo wina-water cannon no, ng China at hindi naman tayo wina-water cannon ng ibang mga claimants, ay dahil sinusuportahan pa nga nila yung ating victory sa UNCLOS, unlike China.
Yes, sir. At higit sa lahat, sir, no, we have a clear understanding na kung ano man yung na-occupy natin prior the 2002 DOC ay nire-respeto ng bawat bansa. No? So for example, Vietnam has their own occupied maritime features. na ginagalawan nila na almost overlap sa maritime feature na meron din tayo. Hindi naman tayo meron tayong, hindi mo masasabi merong aggression or tension between the Vietnam Coast Guard and the Philippine Coast Guard. We have our own understanding with each other.
Hey,
So,
Commodore.
pag nag-umpisa na tong fishing moratorium, magpapadala ba ng escort ang Coast Guard sa mga fishermen natin? Kung sakasakali nga na mapalapit dun sa panatag yan
sa
Marami na pupunta
Baho de
dyan ng
Masinloc.
mga Filipino fishermen.
Well, actually, ma'am, nag-start na yung fishing moratorium.
Yes.
May 1.
Kaya nga.
Yeah, May 1.
So, anong... yes.
Yes.
Kaya
On the part of the
merong
Philippine
mga
Coast
escort
Guard
ang mga
and in
fishermen
cooperation
natin.
with
Kasi natatakot
Yes,
na yung iba,
yes,
yung
ma'am.
mga hindi organized na fishermen Yung mga regular na fishermen na wala namang affiliation sa mga grupo, nag-aalala sila kasi baka daw kung anong mangyari sa kanila.
Yes, ma'am. I-clarify ko lang po ulit, ma'am, no? Ang fishing
Yes.
moratorium is 12 degrees latitude up north, no?
Yes.
So, basically, ang talagang tatamaan lang nito is yung pangisdaan natin pataas, which is Baho de Masinloc as a traditional
Yes.
fishing area. Ang si NSA naman po, the National Security Advisor, has given his standing guidance, no? Both for the Philippine Coast Guard and the Bureau of Fisheries and Aquatic Resources na magkaroon ng rotational deployment para siguraduhin babantayan natin ang ating mga mangisdang Pilipino na maglalayag dito sa Baho de Masinloc.
Rotational deployment na ano yan, yung around the clock yan.
Well, hindi ko masasabi at may papangako ba na around the clock, no? But
Yes.
definitely, salit-salitan po tayo dito, BFAR and Coast Guard. There are so many things to consider, the logistical requirements, the operational readiness of the vessel. But every once in a while, ma'am, no, the Coast Guard and BFAR will be deploying our vessels to ensure our presence in Baho de Masinloc.
Okay.
Commodore, yung bang BRP Teresa Magbanwa nasa Escoda pa rin?
Yes, Sir Bogs. Ang BRP Teresa Magbanwa until now ay nasa Escoda Shoal sa pag-uutos ng ating komandante, Admiral Gavan. I think we have a record now of the longest deployment ng Philippine Coast Guard dito for almost 40 days na yata. We are still waiting for the UP marine scientists, no? Para samahan ng Coast Guard dito na maidokumento yung mga naging nakita natin sa Escoda Shoal na kung saan sinasabi natin there is a possibility of small-scale island reclamation.
Commodore J. Torreala, maraming salamat po sa oras nyo.
Maraming salamat,
Thank you,
Commodore.
Commodore.
Thank you,
Maraming salamat po,
Commodore.
sir.
Okay, we
Thank
have
you po.
we have some sort of breaking news also from our One News Bohol desk. One News Cebu desk, Dale Israel. The governor of Bohol has also been suspended for 6 months in relation to the Chocolate Hills issue.
Yeah. Ano bang partido niya?
Yun ang kailangan natin. Anong partido niya?
Kalaban to ni Yap.
Kalaban ni Yap.
Oo, kalaban ni Yap.
Oo, pero anong partido niya? Kasi
Yap,
nagpapalit.
Sa anong partido?
Lakas di ba?
Dati.
Oo,
Dati
oo.
yun. Pero baka minsan
Very fluid,
nagpapareho natin. Partido na. Kailangan malaman ko anong partido niya
Next,
ngayon.
bukas,
Oo nga.
pag-usapan natin.
Bukas siguro malalaman natin. Okay. Thank you for joining the Storycon today. Ami Pamintuan, Editor-in-Chief of the Philippine Star. Manny Mugato, One News Defense Editor. And Ronald Llamas, of course, our de facto political pundit. De facto kapag medyo naughty yung mga comment mo. Join us again tomorrow at 4 p.m. for the Storycon. I'm Patrick Paez. We are One News, all sides, all the time.